Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I am going to do the May 29th just for today in a meditation. I greet you this morning. I hope that you're doing well today. I'm very grateful to be back in my own home. I got in late last night, and I'm just so grateful to be home. The title of the meditation is Carry Me. That comes from page 155. We believe that our higher power will take care of us. That comes from the basic text, page 58. We all have times when it seems as though our lives are falling apart. There are days or even weeks when it seems that everything that can go wrong is going wrong, whether it's the loss of a job, the death of a loved one, or the end of a relationship. We doubt that we'll survive the changes taking place in our lives. It's during the times when the world is crashing down around our ears that we find our greatest faith in a loving higher power. No human being could relieve our suffering. We know that only God's care can provide the comfort we seek. We feel broken, but we go on, knowing that our lives will be repaired. As we progress in our recovery and our faith in our higher power grows, we are sure to greet the difficult times with a sense of hope, despite the pain we may be in. We need not despair, for we know that our higher power's care will carry us through when we can't walk on our own. Just for today, I will rely on God's care through the painful times, knowing that my higher power will always be there. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Relying on God's care through the painful times and trusting and believing that the care will be provided during times when life becomes difficult is a game changer. The behavior that I had when I had no faith is a lot different compared to when I have a little faith. Because the difference is that now instead of being self-reliant, I'm God-reliant. Right? Instead of being self-confident, I'm God confident. Right? And so the difference there is a game changer because when I'm relying upon myself and I'm overwhelmed with a situation, I am in a position now where I have to do, say, behave in certain ways in order to force the end result that I'm seeking. The problem with that is that a lot of times, listen to me because I want to make sure you understand what I'm trying to convey here. A lot of times, the things that I have to do, say, or behave a certain way in order to make sure that I get the end result that I want are also not things that I feel good about doing. I may have become comfortable doing them because I know they get results. But more than likely, just for me, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm assuming if you use drugs, right, that you can relate to this. If you used drugs, right, I'm assuming you can relate to that statement. In that self-reliant mode, I did things to get the end result that I wanted, but I didn't feel good about doing them. And if I pretended that I felt good about doing them, that was part of the mask. If I looked or sounded like I was okay with it, that was part of the mask, because you can't show weakness in that lifestyle. And if you show weakness, it's usually because it's a part of your con game, right? So that you can get what you want. And so, in order to cope with those emotions, I now need to get high in order to deal with them, right? In order to not feel the full weight of self-degradation. Can't believe I allow myself to do that. Wow. I must really be desperate. I must really be bad off. I probably need to stop using. I probably need some help, right? That internal dialogue is what will make a person hurt themselves or take their lives. So, in order for me not to go that far in how I'm feeling about myself, I need to put something in my system in order to change my perception of my reality and make that pain temporarily go away. I don't know if it was on here or somewhere else, but someone was talking about, not choosing not to use. And I was just saying, there's nothing that I go through that using is going to make better. It is only going to temporarily block what I'm trying not to deal with, my feelings. At the end of the day, if I get high, eventually I'm still going to have to come out of it to the point where, even if it's in the mode of chasing the next one, at some point in time, there's going to be a burst of reality that what I was trying to get away from is still there, if not worse. You know how long it take to nod out? Right? I'm just asking that question. Do you know how long it takes to actually nod out and be ineffective for however long the drug is having an effect on you? Okay, so maybe it's not a downer, maybe it's an upper. So do you know how long it takes to come down? Where you're not ripping and running, your heart is not racing, your head is not pouring sweat. And do you know how long it takes in order for you to have a true perception of reality again that is not clouded by a drug? See, that's the point. Nobody really knows. All you know is that now you don't have your kids anymore because you went off to go do something and never came back. Or you was having a conversation, you was in the car driving, and the drug took effect, and you woke up in a jail cell. Sometimes the point between A and B, we really don't remember. I'd rather deal with whatever I'm dealing with in the here and now, with whatever level of faith that I have. I believe faith is like a shapeshifter. I believe that according to the circumstance that I'm in, my faith will meet that. It's not always the same amount. Do I have faith? Yes. How much of it do I have? However much is needed for the given situation. But I guarantee you that it's better than the no faith version of me, because that girl, she did a whole lot of manipulating in order to get the end result. And it didn't always work out the way that I wanted. So one lie had to be told to cover another lie, and then another one, until I could kind of force it into my ballpark, right? Force it into my end of the court where I was going to come out on top. But the problem with that, when you play those kind of games, you're also dealing with people that are not stupid, right? And so sometimes your bluff will get called and you have to deal with the consequences. We don't want that today. We want to live a life where we believe that our higher power will take care of us. We've all had these rough times, but today we get to make choices. And today we're choosing to win by surrendering to our higher powers will, right? When some of you are saying, but how do I know what that is? Keep coming back. More will be revealed. Because at some point in time, you're going to go off into your step 11 work, where through prayer and meditation, right, you're able to maintain conscious contact, asking for a knowledge, the knowledge of your God's will and the power and strength to carry that out. Some of you don't even know that that's there. Well, how do I know God's will versus my will? Well, peace, for one, is a good indicator. If you're having anger and hostility, a lot of times what you're trying to do is not the right thing. But if you're having a peaceful feeling about something, that's a good indication that you've taken the time to know or to understand your higher powers will. Listen, family, I got to get going. I hate to leave off on this topic, but we'll pick up at some other point. In the meantime, I want for you to have a beautiful day on purpose. I will be talking to you tomorrow.